All right, stocks up after earnings. It's up over 70% since the government announced it took a 10% stake in the chip maker. After earnings, how do you feel about not only Intel, but the fact that it has some backing from the government? Do you see a positive uptrend beyond this report?
Well, the report came as a relief and maybe a confirmation to investors that the companies and the U.S. government's efforts to turn their fortunes around have paid off in the latest quarter. This being said, as you said, this company is assisted today. They are assisted by the U.S. government that is leading to concrete deals with major players in AI as NVIDIA and SoftBank. But it's yet to be seen whether they are going to be pushing this positiveness into uncharted territories as NVIDIA did, because technology-wise, it is important to note that Intel is very strong in the CPU business, but they have lagged behind in the GPU business. So this company today does have two options: whether they're going to make a technology breakthrough by using this investment, this massive billions pouring in, or they're going to find another place for themselves to thrive. That other place could be Foundry, or the position of being world's best manufacturing chip, for example. All that is very much interesting from a political standpoint, but whether it does make economic sense is yet to be seen.
All right, so the economic sense there. I want to go back to what you say is the strength of their business. It's CPUs. It was also the driver of the beats here. It was really CPUs for personal computers and servers. Do you see that as being sustainable? And I want to point out, they were actually capacity constrained this quarter. They weren't able to make enough of these CPUs.
Well, I believe that the investments pouring in right now is going to improve their operational flexibility and their investment opportunities. And the fact that the CPU has beaten is very good news for their core business. But the main story here for Intel and what really made them lag behind players like NVIDIA and AMD is really the fact that they have not been able to keep up with the AI turn. So I think that what really makes the upside potential here for this company is finding a fresh place into this AI room rather than making their CPU business, which is a cash cow for them, look better. So I think that the real potential here will come from AI, and that real potential will be backed by the U.S. government's efforts that actually lead to some very interesting and strategic deals with companies like NVIDIA and SoftBank, for example.
All right, can you bottom line it for us? We were just showing here a short time ago here on Wall Street, most of the analysts have a hold on the company. The price target about 31 bucks, actually below where the stock's trading at right now. Do you see this company as a buy for people that want to invest in the AI trade, considering some of the partnerships you mentioned and we mentioned, NVIDIA, SoftBank, including and also the U.S. government? Can't leave them out. Or do you have questions about the path forward?
We do have questions. I mean, it is a certain thing that the U.S. government is very much backing this company. It wants Intel to re-become that chip champion that it once has been. And the AI for them is very important. There is this huge Stargate project going on, and the U.S. government wants to give Intel a central role, if nothing, in the foundry business and bring the manufacturing back to the U.S. So they are now set to play a central role. This being said, again, political is very much interesting, but Intel has mentioned before that they do not yet have demand for their product. So economically speaking, we are not necessarily sure that all the hype going on around Intel is going to lead to concrete progress of this company. We know that every single piece of news that's going to be linked to the U.S. government and new investments is poised to push the Intel stock price higher, but whether that's going to lead to sustainable and viable growth and business model is yet to be seen.
But one thing, you continue to say that the U.S. government wants to bring chip manufacturing back. They have a foundry business. Why do you also question the economic viability of that foundry business if they have a partner, again, like the U.S. government, and also are kind of tied up right now with NVIDIA?
Simply because when you're talking about foundry business, a company like NVIDIA today is building its chips in Taiwan at TSMC, because Taiwan, for example, has specialized in building these chips for years. They do have the know-how and they do have the structure, the infrastructure there. Now, bringing this infrastructure and know-how back to the U.S. is going to take time, and it's not guaranteed. So this is very politically sensitive and geopolitically sensitive subject in here. It should actually take NVIDIA and other players in the sector to make make sure that bringing their manufacturing back to the US and replacing their outside manufacturing by manufacturing in the US will make economic sense for them as well. So there is
Okay.
a chain of economic factors and economic reasoning that is not necessarily backing bringing this manufacturing back to the US, aside from the geopolitical tensions, the sensitive nature of the chip business, and the US government willing to, bring this very sensitive sector back on its soil.